Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network and across the social media platforms at Inside Edge Net. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff, and InsideEdgeNetwork.com. We are so glad to have you with us. On this Friday night, we are live. It is 12:02, now officially May 30th. A beautiful, beautiful day outside. Just if you can have the windows open, have it open. But wherever you may be on this Friday night, or if you're tuning in on delay on a Saturday during the weekend, thank you for joining us right here on the Inside Edge Network. We're here with you for the next hour. We got a lot to get into, so let's get right into it. Let me briefly start with the Cleveland Guardians. Shout out to them. Congrats. They're a winner 4-3 against the Boston Red Sox. A few things. I did not realize how terrible the Boston Red Sox are. I didn't know. When you hear Boston Red Sox, you think tradition, and you think, honestly, you think of, my generation, the millennial generation. We've seen the Red Sox win championships, so you think about that. But when I heard Tom Hamilton on the radio mention that the Red Sox are at home, they're the worst team in baseball. They can't score. They can't do anything. And, oh, well. I mean, I'm a Cleveland sports fan, so their problem is their problem. And I'm sure in Boston, they're having a meltdown right now over everything that's been going on with the Red Sox. But their loss is our win for the Cleveland Guardians. I'm going to admit something to all of you guys. I'm going to admit something. Cade Smith, congrats to him. He is the first in Major League Baseball to 20 saves. Congrats to him. For those who are like me and watched Guardians baseball from opening day to mid-April, and then you switched out because of the NBA playoffs, you might be a little shocked to hear that. Cade Smith, first the 20 saves. He had a strikeout slam, and the Guardians win tonight. My goodness. Good for Cade Smith. I know he stepped into a very tough situation, having to follow Emmanuel Clase. We haven't really talked about Clase that often. That's fine. when the time comes, we'll talk about it. But good for Cade Smith, for him to be the first to 20 saves. Of course, the Guardians had an early 4-0 lead against the Boston Red Sox. And, off and running. A little bit more on Cade Smith. He has converted 20 of 22 chances. He has a 2.7 ERA. And according to AI on Twitter, Twitter says he has elite control since mid-April. He does, though. He's been doing a great job. We're going to need him, and we're going to need others, obviously, as the season progresses here. But, again, congrats to the Guardians. I did hear Bloom Daddy, and I did hear Bloom Daddy on WTAM earlier in the week. He mentioned, I think after Wednesday's game, I think it was a day game, and I flipped right on for the post-game show, and he was like, I get more excited when, Bazana and Chase the Lauder gets onto the plate compared to Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan. Like, that's interesting. And you need a little bit more firepower offensively. So, yeah, congrats to the Guardians. They are hot right now. They're off and running. I'm not sure if tonight was a sellout, but I'm sure it was close. A lot of people, great weather across Northeast Ohio, apparently. And I learned this because Matt Wentz was on our station earlier today with Chad Bryan on Inside Edge Primetime. Apparently, here in Ohio, we're the only state in the entire continental United States that has good weather. I guess I love the analogy. He was explaining like the jet stream, and apparently like the water is stuck with the jet stream. So with the water hose and Eli, you're on that show. You're the host of that show. Help me out here, buddy. I mean, what it was talking about the jet stream and like the water is stuck or something like that.
This is why we need Chad Bryan to stay sometimes for the opening segment. Because Chad, obviously conducted a lot of that interview. But yeah, like the Omega, like, and basically we're gonna get Matt's on the look. We're gonna have to get Matt back on the show to explain more about the Omega stream. I just heard Omega and like the jet stream basically is going.
We got Omega Video Marketing.
We do.
Proud sponsor here of Midnight Run and Inside Edge Network.
Yes, absolutely. But Matt was just talking about it, with Chad. He talked about like the weather and how, like we're expecting a pretty good June AA. Not going to be too hot and egregious. I know a lot of people, we won't talk too much weather here because if you missed the interview, you got to go back and see it on Inside Edge Prime.
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. A lot of great stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And Chad appreciates it too because he got to sit down with Matt. I kind of snuck behind the scenes, but it was great to have Matt on. He talked about it should be a more enjoyable June. Good baseball weather, good walking in the park. We talked about the Metro Parks yesterday. Good walking in the park weather, and it should be really good. AA. He also shared some thoughts on the Guards. You're talking about Guards here at the top of the segment. He doesn't think the Guardians are going to be the best in the AL when it's all said and done, but he thinks they'll be a lot of fun, and that is kind of where the Guardians have always been, right? They're at least going to be a lot of fun. Can they get over the hump? We'll see. But it just seems weird to me, and I'm embracing it, that we aren't as critical on these Guardians as we have been absolutely eviscerating the cast. Now, granted, completely different reasons. We don't have Jose Ramirez coming out there saying he doesn't feel any pressure and, he's already won at life. But, yeah.
I think that's a very interesting point I'm glad you brought that. It's a great segue, too, because honestly, right now, it seems like the Cavaliers are positioning themselves to be the Cleveland Guardians. Yeah. A fun regular season team that's going to win games. Like, let's just spade for a spade. Let's say the Cavaliers do nothing and they run everything back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. They're going to win games.
Yeah.
They're going to, I'm not saying they're going to be a one seed or anything. Absolutely not. But they're going to win some games. They're going to, there's going to be up and down, but they're a playoff team. Yeah. They're going to get there. But then it's clear they're not good enough for the playoffs, and they're not setting themselves up and doing the little things to get over that hump. They're a fun team, but there's always somebody that's better.
Yeah, and you know what? The one thing I can give the Guardians, you see guys that actually care on this team. And I'm not saying there aren't Cavaliers that care or don't care or whatever, even though it's very apparent right now that some don't seem to care too much about winning as opposed to just having it all, given. I don't want to say given, that's the wrong word, but they've earned it, and now it's been provided to them, and now they don't seem to care as much. You haven't seen that. You see guys like Jose Ramirez who's still out there grinding in his mid-30s now, right? Like early to mid-30s, trying to win his first MLB World Series. You see Brian Rocchio beating himself up after every bad plate appearance last year, and even this year. And that's why he's having a pretty good year so far, AA. You see these guys actually caring, and it means a lot to them to want to win this, and they're fighting for their leader. Jose Ramirez and the manager at the top, Stephen Vogt, and that's something that they don't have in common. The Cavaliers don't have a leader that they're fighting for. They don't have somebody that they're like, we're going to fight for Donovan, or we're going to fight for Jared Allen, or we're going to fight for this guy. And they're also like, why should we fight for Kenny Atkinson when there were reports before game one that they were elated, the Cavaliers, that Jason Kidd could be available for the next head coach, or at least on this coaching staff. So who exactly are they fighting for?
I'm going to disagree with you on the surface level, but you're still right. You'll see where I'm going with here. And we're going to play Donovan Mitchell's comment, the ones that you guys played on primetime here shortly. I do think they fight for each other, but it's more of enabling each other as opposed to holding each other accountable.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, hey, you know what? We know you got a C- again today, but you're doing a great job. You're doing such a great job. Instead of, hey, we got to go out there and get this A because we need you to go get this new, this university. We need you to get to the honor roll. We need you to do something. Try to compare it to school, but anything in life. Hey, we know, instead of, hey, you're doing all right at that job. It's really the job. Hey, you know what? We want you to elevate because one day you'll be able to buy a house and all this stuff. Well, unfortunately, all these guys already have all of that. So now it's like, what are they fighting for? And there's nobody that cares, it seems like, about their legacy. We have two guys at the top that seemingly for the Cavaliers don't care about their legacy. And that's the problem.
It's a big problem. And it transitions us to what Donovan Mitchell said. Again, we don't know if this was said today, yesterday, last month, last year, or 10 years ago. I don't care. These are still bad comments. You're at a point right now. First off, let's play the comment. This was Donovan Mitchell, NBA Today, ESPN. He had, remember the context too. This is the same Donovan Mitchell who has previously said he does not feel pressure. Take a look.
We may win a ring here. We may never win a ring here. But I've won in life. I'm out of here. Catch y'all in 19 weeks.
Okay. If you're a season ticket holder, how do you feel about that? You're a season ticket holder, gas prices are up, mortgage is up, cost of living is up, food, you got to take care of your kids, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, it's a little bit harder on a day-to-day basis to get through life. And you as a season ticket holder, you care about the Cavaliers. You're putting your money into the game, into the tickets, onto the games, onto the team. You're buying the merchandise. If you're just a Cleveland sports fan who goes to these Cavs games, watches the Cavs on TV, listens to the Cavs on the radio, how does that comment make you feel? How does that, this is not youth sports. Honestly, that type of comment would even fly in high school sports. This is not the YMCA where the participation trophy only matters. That is CYO attitude right there, ladies and gentlemen. That, what Donovan Mitchell said in that clip, is one of the most disrespectful things I've ever heard from an athlete in relation to their team and the complete misunderstanding of the fans. Don't give me this whole, we don't understand what it's like to be a professional athlete. You don't understand what it's like to be a paying customer to support what you are doing and your team. I don't know. Listen, supposedly there isn't a script in basketball, football, and major sports. Anything that's a script, I do a wrestling podcast. That's where we cover scripts, okay? People pay money to see you and your team pursue a championship. They don't do this and spend their hard-earned money just to see our team have fun. That's for the Harlem Globetrotters when they come to town. That's for anything else. And next segment, we'll play clips from Koby Altman. But that's why this Cavs team will never get to where they need to be, despite having the talent to potentially get to better places. That's why they get their asses kicked every time they face adversity, because of stuff like that. That type of attitude. They're emotionalists because, to be perfectly honest, they don't have the mental toughness, nor want or care or respect for themselves or for you. They don't. So as long as you are spending money on merchandise, as long as you're spending your hard-earned money on season tickets, and as long as you support the Cleveland Cavaliers, let them know that you don't give a rat's you-know-what about their investment into your team, into you as a player. To be frank, I don't care about a player legacy at all. I really don't care. Whatever it turns out to be, it is what it is. I'm a Cleveland sports fan. I live and die by Cleveland sports. When I watch, listen, I get it. Cavaliers can't go 82-0. I get it, obviously. Guardians can't go 162-0. The Browns can't go 17-0. And they go 0-6. Okay, that's besides the point. But the whole point of professional sports, the whole point of collegiate sports, because we pay the money to watch the TV contracts and stuff, and to a certain extent high school sports, the point is to win. Have fun with your teammates, enjoy the brotherhood. Yes, there are things that they do that we will never understand, but it's the lack of respect for the business. And honestly, it's the lack of respect for the money that Dan Gilbert has spent on that roster. If he wanted to just have fun, I'm sure there are millions of other ways Dan Gilbert could have spent his money. And you're pissing all over his money. Eli and Chad played that clip during prime time. I wasn't even going to talk. I saw the clip earlier today. I wasn't even going to talk about it. And then Eli and Chad played the clip on prime time, and they broke it down. And I was in my car listening to the show. I pulled up. I was home. I finished up laundry, and I was about to go inside. I stayed in the car for a solid 20 minutes listening to what they had to say. And as they were explaining it, and this will be 30 seconds. I know we're going to break. As they're explaining it, I'm getting riled up because I'm thinking about the time and investment. I'm thinking about the money I've spent on gear, the money I spent on tickets. And they're pissing all over it. And they're telling us all this is okay. That's the part that blows my mind. They're telling us to sit there, shut the hell up, and like what you're doing. Except the fact that you got swept. Oh, we're improving. We're a better team. Sure. When we come back from break, we're going to play some clips from Koby Altman. He had the end of the season press conference, and he's going to explain why everything that you saw today is progress and why all this stuff is good and why you should shut the hell up and not even worry about winning a title because we're all doing this just for fun. And the money that you have, F all that. We'll be back.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code INSIDEEDGE10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Awesome show today on Unfiltered, guys. We went through the gambit of different breaking news stories in Northeast Ohio, including the big news. Hey, Mike Gansey, he's out as the GM of the Cavs. He's taking over president of basketball operations duties with the Philadelphia 76ers. How about that? He's got some stuff to work on over there, too. Coming up next week, man, it is a full range of topics, news, talk, sports, all across Northeast Ohio. You get it right here on Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. 5 p.m. Monday, we're back right here on the Inside Edge Network.
We have to be really strategic on what we do and how we add and how we can get better. But I'm pretty confident in our front office and our creativity. And you mentioned urgency. There's absolute urgency. There always is, right? When you have Dan as your owner and a Gilbert family that wants to bring another championship to Northeast Ohio, it's great pressure. It's great pressure to have. We're all aligned. It's not, hey, go save money or shave this or get out of. No, it's like, how do we get better? That's the question. If that's the North Star, you're not worried about second April. You're not worried about tax bill. It's how do you break through? And so we're in great shape because we're aligned under that guys, and there's no mandate to do this or do that. Like, how do we get better? And getting better means making the finals, and that's a hard thing to do. And so that's incremental. That could be around the edges. That could be a big ticket move. We're going to look at all of it. And certainly be able to navigate around sort of the confines of the second April if we have to.
Okay, so that was Koby Altman. And you heard Kyle, by the way, on the promo. Mike Gansey, he's not here anymore. He took a new job in Philadelphia, so a little bit of a shakeup there, big shakeup with the Cavs front office. But Koby Altman talking about Dan Gilbert and the resources and all that stuff that's in play there. I will be fair. Koby Altman has made moves, right? Like, it's not like he's done nothing, right? We're not coming off of a season where Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are limping their way through. So again, to be fair, Koby Altman has proven he could make moves. And Dan Gilbert, of course, with the seemingly unlimited resources of, I mean, he's not the richest man in the world, but there's no budget per se. But boy, Koby Altman, he can sell you on some BS, can't he? He can sell you on some BS. On one hand, I would like to believe that he's just covering his tracks. You don't want any leaks, things like that. But it's a little damning to put cold water on obvious moves that would move your team from a fringe championship contender to a favorite. So that's just me. That's just me. A lot of interesting points. Koby Altman earlier today talking with the media, the traditional end of the season, state of the Cavs press conference. It's really the same press conference every single year. I predicted how this was going to go. This is the classic. Hey, we're trending in the right direction, and we're doing okay, and these guys need more time, and blah 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 blah. It's the same thing. You knew it was going to happen. You might as well do these press conferences before the playoffs, and then just get it done, get it out of the way. It is what it is. Some interesting things. Let's start with Evan Mobley. Now, Eli, there are two clips here of Mobley. We want to do the longer one? Yes. Okay, so let's play the Evan Mobley is the question mark. Of course, the conversation about Giannis with Milwaukee. Evan Mobley, what is going to be his future with the Cleveland Cavaliers? Here's what Koby Altman had to say about Evan Mobley.
So you talked about Evan and Jared a lot here. Can you say definitively that Evan Mobley will be on your team next year?
Evan Mobley?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's part of our future. I don't know what you mean by.
Well, because all these Evan for Giannis.
Yeah, we're not gonna speculate on any players outside these walls. All I can tell you is, since Evan's been here, we've had the third best record in the league. For 5 years, third best record in the league. Now, we don't have a championship to show for that yet, right? Boston and Denver, the other two ahead of us, they have a championship to show for that. But all Evan has done is impacted winning. He's been remarkable for us in terms of our ascent, right, the last 5 years. He's a huge part of what we do. He knows he needs to get better. When we sat down and talked to him, we talked about the intangible stuff. Not even so the skill set stuff. How are we going to get stronger, right? How are we going to build your body up so you're going to be able to sustain? We played him a lot of minutes this postseason. And so 5 years in, 24 years old, we are very fortunate to have drafted Evan Mobley in a spectacular rookie class. You think about that rookie class, right? Cade Cunningham, right? MVP candidate. Scotty Barnes, who has emerged to be one of the best players in the NBA. We saw that for 7 games. That was not fun. Franz Wagner, right? Evan Mobley. That's a spectacular class. And out of those guys, who's the first to the conference finals? Evan Mobley. So we have to be proud of that. We have to take pride in that. It's easy to knock someone down. We're in the weeds. We can point to this. We can point to that. He's a franchise caliber player, and we're very fortunate to have him.
It's pretty good by Koby Altman. That's pretty good. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's watching it, because I listened to Kyle's show earlier today on Unfiltered, and that clip was played. And listening to it at first, I was like, come on, you're BSing us. And maybe he is, but watching it here live, not live, but watching it here in person, okay, all right, you could buy me into it just a little bit. It seemed to me the tone that he was laying out with Evan Mobley, it sounds to me, I don't know if they'll follow through with trading him. And you would only trade him if you're bringing in Giannis. the tone seems to me that he was trying to up his market. If you go to anybody on the street right now, who would you rather have on your basketball team, Evan Mobley or Cade Cunningham? I would say probably 8 out of 10 would say Cade. Okay, if you just put it on the table right there, you're starting an organization, you need a starting 5, you can either have Evan Mobley or Cade Cunningham. 8 out of 10, and I think I might be lowballing this, would say Cade. Okay, but the way that Koby broke it down, who made it the furthest? Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, or Evan Mobley? He could work over at the car dealership down the street. I mean, that's a good sales pitch. That's a good sales pitch for a potential trade, if that's the case. There is another question that I was thinking about emotionally about Evan Mobley. And it's not in the rundown, but I've been thinking about this the whole day. Question for the room. Let's go down the bad path here for a second. Would you be more in pain if Giannis was traded to another team besides Cleveland and he won a championship? Or would you be more upset if Evan Mobley was traded to another team, became that one of the best players in basketball, and also won a championship in the next 5 years? Would that be more of a gut punch to you as a Cleveland sports fan? It's not as easy of an answer. It's not as easy of a question as I thought it would be. Can you ensure to win now? Again, I think there's a package out there for Giannis and LeBron. I really do. I really do. I laid it out earlier. I laid it out. You can get Giannis here. You can get LeBron here. You can get Jason Kidd as an assistant coach here with Harden and probably Donovan Mitchell. All that could happen in one offseason. But there is another alternative universe where James Harden, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley, that's your team. Those three. I left out Donovan. Those three. That could be your team for the next several years. If they run this back one more year, it doesn't work out. And then, Donovan Mitchell's obviously playing on a contract year. And and that's the other dangerous point that we're not really addressing because we have so much time supposedly to address, but time's running out. Because Donovan Mitchell's on his contract year, if this Cavs team, there's a lot of fire on their behinds right now. Like, there's a lot of hot seats right now. It started with Kenny Atkinson, even Koby Altman a little bit there. But if you roll in the next season, let's say no moves are made. I'm not talking about, like, what do you do with, like, Dean Wade and Max Strus? I'm talking about, like, your core four. If there are no moves made, major moves, and you go into next year's regular season and you're in the middle of the pack, you're flirting with the play-in by the All-Star break, you're going to be fielding calls for Donovan Mitchell to be traded. And you're going to expect some value back. So there is an alternative universe where the core four becomes the core three with James Harden, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. By the way, as Kyle pointed out, not much talk from Koby Altman about Jared Allen. Yeah. He did talk about Donovan Mitchell, Koby Altman, and let's take a look at what he had to say about Donovan.
Hey. Donovan turns 30 in September. You guys can put a big extension in front of him this summer. At what point does age start to factor into those conversations?
We're still playing the best basketball of his career, right? look, Donovan is our guy. He loves it here. I think he's professed how much he loves it here emphatically. Through this, and it's interesting, like 2018 was the last time he made a conference finals and finals, and 8 long years to get back here. The 4 years without him, no playoffs, right? The 4 years with him, playoffs. Multiple conference semifinals or conference finals. He's elevated everything about this franchise and this organization. So, when he professes his love for being here, we're fortunate to have him, and we'll work out those details when it comes time. But right now, he's still playing the best basketball of his career. I think this was, second highest points per game, another All-NBA caliber a year. And he finally broke through to get to a conference finals, and he wants more. And so we're getting him at his peak right now, and we hope that continues.
I'm going to say this about Donovan Mitchell, and just honestly, just life. And again, clips courtesy of Cameron Justice from News 5, Leah Dorothy from 19 News. So I want to mention this, and I might actually need Eli on the screen for this because he could relate to this. I think there are, and we can relate to this at night, right? If we went back and were able to talk to our former selves 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? There would be a lot of things we would say. And one of the things we would say, there's probably a good chance that we missed out on certain opportunities for certain things. Like the way you see the world now, it's like, man, if I would have did that 5 years ago, I would have did that 10 years ago. Like, this is why what Donovan said is so maddening, because I can easily see Eli, Donovan Mitchell, he's 29, he's going to turn 30 in September. I could easily see Donovan Mitchell when he's 35, 40 years old saying, man, this Cavs team I was on right now, this is the best Cavs team this is the best team I've ever played on. And if I had the mentality that, 10 years from now that I would have now, we could have done something, but it's just maturity wise, it's not there. And watching it play out in real time is almost maddening, because you see the potential. It's just these guys refuse to unlock it.
Yeah, and I was thinking another thing too, Double A. I think Koby Altman's a little scared or nervous or whatever you want to say about touching this roster, moving this roster around. Let's think about this. Koby Altman, if I recall correctly, took over the GM position for the Cleveland Cavaliers 2018. It was like the 2017-2018 run. He was, I want to say it was 2017. If I'm not mistaken, it was right after David Griffin left. They won the championship in 16. I want to say Altman was there in 2017-18 season, because I believe he orchestrated the Isaiah Thomas trade, and he also orchestrated, bringing Dwayne Wade here and all that. So think about that. And then the Colin Sexton time, right? Like, his first draft pick was Colin Sexton. Then he brought in Darius Garland, brought in these other guys. And it took him a while to get to this point, the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, real quick, he was the assistant GM. He joined the Cavs front office in 2012, went up through the ranks. He became the assistant GM during the 2016-2017 season, and then he was promoted to basketball operations on July 24th, 2017. And I think within the first week of his job, he had to make a critical decision about Kyrie Irving.
Exactly. And you think about this, maybe he's just worried, I mean, we got to dissect it a little bit. That's, part of the gig for us is dissecting it. I think Koby Altman's a little scared to touch this roster. Think about it. He already moved off of one of his core 4 guys. He's been banging the table in terms of patience, core four, and trades one of them for James Harden to make it work. And it hasn't worked. I mean, they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they got embarrassed. And maybe he's worried that another big move, if he trades one of these other centerpieces, Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, I don't think Jared Allen as much, which is crazy considering he has been the most consistent Cavalier in elimination games. But, when he thinks of Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, maybe he's scared to move off one of these guys and it blows up in his face. And now he's back to having to find the next Colin Sexton and Darius Garland for the next 5 years, or worse, he's having to answer more questions about his job. I think this is a guy who's playing damage control and saying, we're okay here. We're okay. We're at the top. And until the wheels fall off, Koby Altman's going to keep smiling about patience and where they're at right now.
I think the entire organization is scared. I'll actually double down on your point. I think the entire organization is scared. And I do think there is something to be said about we don't want to see the dark days of, October, November 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Post LeBron. Dan Gilbert's been through it twice. Post LeBron, fall of 2010, fall of 2018. I get that. But there is a way to go about it. And honestly, if that's the case, I don't want to see Dan Gilbert tweeting saying that we're going to go all in and grind and do things. We're going to do big ticket moves. No, you really want to be comfortable. And I think too, these guys in the roster, Donovan Mitchell, the one time, I'm not saying Donovan Mitchell never answered questions. Obviously, he answered questions. But what was the one response that he had that he was seemingly the most passionate about? What was the topic?
It wasn't
James Harden.
Yeah, it wasn't winning basketball games.
It was defending James Harden. And he had that 3-minute monologue that we played earlier in the week, defending James Harden.
Yeah, and I know we got to go to break here in a few moments, and I know we're going to continue to eviscerate these Cavaliers this offseason until they give us a reason not to, but it's just a shame that they are so okay being complacent. We get on the Guardians, we get on, the Browns at times for being complacent or trying to see it through with certain coaches or certain quarterbacks or whatever. We're yelling about that right now with Deshaun Watson. And sure, Donovan Mitchell doesn't have the same baggage, nowhere near the same amount of baggage as Deshaun Watson. But think about it. The Cavaliers have invested a lot of money in the Donovan Mitchell. They're trying to see what happens. And they're trying to see what this ride takes them for. And granted, so far it's taken to an Eastern Conference Finals, but that might be the final destination in terms of how far this team gets. They might be just an Eastern Conference Finals contender, the stepping stone for whoever's going to go win the NBA championship or at least compete in the finals next. And that's what it feels like. That's my thoughts.
It's just frustrating because, okay, the Cleveland Browns are idiots, right?
Yeah.
They're idiots, and sometimes, you get in your emotions because they're idiots, and it has shown for the last in our entire lives.
yeah, just our lives,
they're idiots. The Cavaliers, they're not dummies, but they refuse to unlock their full potential, and it's maddening. I used to say. I think this is so true. If you used to hoop in your park, whatever it may be, some of the best basketball players to have ever stepped foot on this planet never entered the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't due to injury.
Mm-hmm.
It was due to not unlocking their potential. It was due to not doing the things that they needed to do to get to that level. It wasn't due to circumstance. It wasn't due to anything else. They got in their own way. They refused to unlock their potential, and they shut down. It's the same thing. You're in the music business. You know this better than anybody. There are great artists that are not breaking through because they get in their own way and they refuse to unlock their own potential.
Yeah, and just whether it's sports or music or entertainment or whatever it may be, you start smelling the roses or the flowers. You get to a moment where you didn't think you'd be to. And for Donovan Mitchell and some of these guys, maybe that is where they're at. I'm in the NBA. He's got Coco Jones, he's rocking with. He's got the house, the car, the fame. He's on the commercials. He's got everything. He's got the girl, got the house, got the career, got the billions, millions, not billions, but millions of dollars. And maybe he's just happy. Maybe he's happy where he's at. But if that's the case, and this is my final point on this, I know we got to go to break here. But my final point for tonight, however, is if that's the case, then I'm sure another team will take you on. Washington's building some sort of super team or whatever with Trey Young and Anthony Davis and the number one pick. There's other teams. We'll call Utah and see if Utah is available again. I don't want this type of behavior in Cleveland, which is known. We talk about this city all the time as being a blue-collar city and working hard and going to get the greater good. And now we have a guy who's basically acting like a prima donna on everything we've heard for the last month and a half on quotes. And that's why I'm sick of Donovan Mitchell, especially as a leader. If he wants to stay here as a third or fourth guy, maybe we'll find a spot for him if I was in charge. but I don't want him as a leader, and I don't want him as a second guy. We got to get two guys in here, not just one. This is a two-part problem, and we need to figure out who's going to keep Kenny Atkinson in line when he starts running analytical and starts looking like the meme where he's like, well, if I go over here and over here, too much double A.
Yeah, give me Draymond Green here. Give me somebody who's going to have that attitude. We got too many nice guys. And I'm sorry. Again, I expect excellence. I just do. I mean, we even talk about it here with this network. Like, there are, we're doing great things, but we can stay where we're at or we can elevate. It's always those things. All right, when we come back, Unpack Friday, our final segment of the show and for the week, the enhanced games. What? We got guys who are on steroids. Ugh. Again, after, but was it fun? Was it successful? Was it entertaining? We get into all that, plus a lot more, a lot to break down. Unpack Wednesday or Wednesday. Wow, 5 days, AA, 5 days a week, 5 days. Unpack Friday after the break.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick. With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh. I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Chad Bryan and Eli Moon. We are Inside Edge Primetime, and we had another fun week here on the Inside Edge Network. Man, we are so sick of Donovan Mitchell. I don't know how to do this without a smile because I'm so fed up. I don't understand where he comes from as a leader. He doesn't feel pressure. He's won at life. When do we win in Cleveland? When do we get a championship? I don't know with Donovan Mitchell anymore, Chad. What I do know is you had a great conversation. I kind of sat it out, kind of watched and observed. WKYC Channel 3 meteorologist, friend of the program, Matt Wentz. Great talk, man. What did you take away from your conversation with Matt there, Chad?
First of all, it's always great to have him on. We always appreciate him making the time for us. But I learned what the Omega Black situation is right now that we have with the weather. You'll have to watch the interview to learn more about that. But we also talked a little Cavs. We talked some Guardians. And I put Matt on the spot. I made him predict if the Guardians got to the World Series, who would they play? What would be the deal? And you'll have to just watch the interview to find out what he said.
Absolutely. Again.
So Eli, I'm sorry. But we
No,
did
you're good.
debut the Friday free-for-all, the brand new and improved. I know we've already debuted it once. We re-debuted the Friday free-for-all. We let AI do it for us, and it was something.
I knew you were so excited, so I went to say it. You went to say it. I went to say it. But yes, Friday Free for All is back again. It is returned, and yes, Chad and I got a little unhinged. We had our little version of Midnight Run here around 11 o'clock or so. So make sure you tune in if you missed Friday's episode. We will see you Monday. So if you're seeing this, happy weekend. Who won? Spurs, Thunder? We'll find out. And hopefully nobody in Cleveland does anything stupid. That's Chad Bryan. I'm Eli Moon. We're back at 10 o'clock this Monday. See you then.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Final segment of the show and for the week here on Midnight Run, which I learned through AI that Midnight Run with Anthony Alford is a late night sports and entertainment talk show broadcasted on the Inside Edge Network. That's scary. AI knows everything. It knows my whole life. It knows everything. Oh man, good stuff. All right, Unpack Fridays here with you. We're going to talk enhanced games. Our Wednesday night show, Jersey Chasers, had some comments about that. We'll get to that in a few moments here. There's a segment I'm thinking about debuting maybe next week. I don't know what day, but after my Chicago trip, I'm very curious. Like, I don't know if we'll do like a spin the wheel type of thing. Obviously, we're Cleveland based. We're Cleveland's digital leader for sports, entertainment, news, and mental health. But sometimes it's occasionally fun just to peek your head into what's going on in another town and what's going on in terms of their sports teams and what the hell is going on there. So we might do something like that on a future show. That might be a weekly thing. I don't know yet, but we'll think about it. Like, I'm very intrigued about the Skubal thing, what's going on with Detroit. That was the first thing I heard a week ago, and the Tigers have not done any better in a week. So they were talking about that. We're just not going to have time to really get into that. But, yeah, I called Eli and Chad. First thing, I'm driving to Chicago, and they're going through that. Like, I'm very curious. Like, for example, in Boston, the Red Sox are falling apart. Their football head coach can't keep it in his pants. You got other stuff going on. Like, there's a ton of stuff going on there. So we might look into something like that. Again, I don't know what day. Maybe a Thursday we might do it, because I think almost every night now we have something to look forward to. Of course, Big Back Tuesday. That will make its return. That, we've been busy. Big Back Tuesday will be back on Tuesday. And your favorite Midnight Conversations every Wednesday, myself, Omar, and Eli. That comes your way Wednesdays at 12:40 each and every single week. And remember to like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net. InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you can go. And remember, we got the merch store. Use the promo code INSIDER. You get a major discount with that. Also, shout out to Omar. Omar Klossel. He will be debuting the Inside Edge Morning Show coming up this Monday, 9 o'clock, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11, right here on the Inside Edge Network. Have you heard about the enhanced games? Now, we have always, I guess, complained. A lot of it is because of baseball. Boy, what would the games look like if we were allowed to take steroids? We were allowed to get jacked up. We were allowed to, I guess, everyone to look like prime Vince McMahon out there. Like, oh, yeah, how about that, right? I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll check it out. Well, apparently they did their first event last weekend, and our crew from Jersey Chasers, Autumn Chisholm and Christy Acuity, who, by the way, I will be joining them on Tuesday, the debut of Love Island USA. A watch party. They invited me. So it's going to be a Jersey Chasers. Wow, wrong show. Jersey Chasers primetime special. Love Island USA. It's very rare that I invoke my PD influence on this network. This is one of the few decisions. I'm a Love Island USA fan. I'm going to make Eli a Love Island USA fan. They just released the cast. Okay, sidebar. All right. Thank you. Woo! I'm telling you, you're going to like that show, man. Here's Autumn and Christy talking about the enhanced games.
And we have to talk about what I think was the most hilarious event of the weekend. Have you heard of the enhanced games, Christy?
Wait. What?
The enhanced games. Yes. Okay. So the enhanced games was a multi-sport event, essentially like the Olympics.
Okay.
Like Summer Olympics. So it's founded by Aaron D'Souza, and it allowed athletes to use PEDs. So they wouldn't have to use have drug tests. They nothing.
Get
that
back up on the roids then. Go for it.
Yes. Absolutely. So
gotta go watch this now.
Oh, it was a hot ass mess. It was so bad. But the good thing about it is that a lot of the athletes did get paid. So for winning a race, you could win up to $1 million. For losing a race, you could win $20,000.
Well,
so that was
I could go lose a race.
When I tell you, this was so bad, but it was so funny. Because this one guy who was a swimmer, he got super jacked. He super roided up, everything you could think of. He came in dead last.
Damn.
He came in dead last. Almost everybody that won the events didn't use any sort of drugs. Didn't use no drugs. Because non-enhanced athletes could compete too. And when I say it looked night and day with the roided up athletes versus the not, it was so
damn, I gotta
funny.
go watch that.
Okay. And that was courtesy of Autumn and Christy, Jersey Chasers, Wednesday night, 7:30 here on the network. Listen, I thought, oh boy. I thought people tuned away from steroids because of I don't know if it's true or not, but it does not enhance your performance in the bedroom. I thought a lot of people went away from steroids for that exact reason. It's actually pretty funny too, because for that particular reason, don't they have an Olympic Village? And if you're not performing on the field or performing in the swimming pool, I'm sure they're not performing in the real Olympic sport that they wanted to participate in. Yeah. Sure. Have at it. Have at it. Take the roids. I mean, it was never about, I guess what you're proving too, athletes are bigger, faster, stronger than ever before. There are other ways to compete. You're not competing against slobs anymore, right? So if you're getting the necessary workout in, you're going to be fine. The muscle roids slow you down. All you're going to do is, I mean, again, you want impact? Watch Vince McMahon in his prime, and you tell me, nah. So good luck to them. Good luck to the enhanced games. By the way, the name sucks too. The enhanced games. Oh, yeah. Okay. Boy, that's going to get people excited to watch. I'm excited for Game 7 of Spurs Thunder. That's going to be a great contest. Hopefully the Spurs win. I am so glad everyone's picking up on the classic work of the Oklahoma City Floppers. It is so great. It is phenomenal. Jay Williams, shout out to him. They now have Life Alert, brought to you by SGA. It is great. I mean, if you're going to sit there and flop just for no reason, there's a different way to put your body on the line. Just ball. That's all you got to do. One little key factor, and then we're done. I hate to say this, New York has a legitimate shot of winning the title. I'm not saying they're going to, but 7 of the last 10 NBA champions went into the finals with a longer or more days of rest between the conference final and the NBA final than the competitor. So New York, I think they're going to have 8 days, because the finals start on Wednesday night. So they're going to have 8 days. Spurs and Thunder, they're only going to have 3 days. So that's a major difference. And that's how New York's been getting by in these playoffs. 6 games in the first round against Atlanta, and then sweep and sweep. So they're going to be well rested and ready to go. All right, we are done. Thank you again for joining us here on Midnight Run. For Eli Moon and our entire team, I'm Double A Anthony Alford signing off. Again, we are here with you Monday through Friday at midnight right here on the Inside Edge Network. Real Talk with Papa Moon tomorrow or later today at 5 o'clock. Maddie Mooneyham will be on the show. Eli's sister. She's fantastic. That's going to be a great show. That's ready to go. 5 o'clock tomorrow. And then Eli, myself, and Rob Rozicki were with you on Sunday night for the main event. Everybody, go outside, enjoy the weekend, have fun, relax, chill, and get after it. It's going to be a great, great weekend. I truly believe it. And I would say go to bed, but it's Friday. Stay up for as long as you want. Good night, everybody.